Hey guys, welcome to a new season, Season 2, Episode 1 of the Tech Check. Before we begin, here's a word from our sponsor.
Today's sponsor is Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. It has creation tools that allows you to create and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. Anchor also distributes your podcast for you on multiple platforms such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can make money with no minimum listenership, and everything is in one place to create a podcast. Download Anchor on the App Store or Play Store, or you can go to anchor.fm to create your podcast today.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 1 of the Tech Check.
Today we have Sai as our guest speaker. So today I think Sai is going to be talking about the integration of tech and sports with us. Isn't that right, Sai?
Yes, that is right.
So what do you got for us about tech and sports?
So should we talk about replays like in sports or?
Yeah.
Definitely talk about replays. I mean, like it's pretty useful because it like changes the game.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. Spot on.
Okay.
Spot on. It does change the game.
All right.
It helps the refs make no trash calls. I mean, even though
they still
most
do.
of them are
No,
pretty.
trash calls happen anyway, so.
I know. But hey, the trash calls have reduced.
That's cap.
true.
But
Dude, Jordan Crawford? If you gave him if he actually used replays, I feel like he would actually be a decent ref.
I mean, or what about the Detroit Lions over there just getting screwed
Oh
over?
yeah, that's true.
So let's
That's true.
let's not talk about that. Okay, we're not going to talk about refing in this, but
We'll talk about the tech.
yeah. So tech obviously has a lot of use in sports. We have replays. We have different visual effects like the first down line for football games. We have shot clocks, fantasy football, gambling, virtual fans, streaming, etc. Esports included in that. So obviously tech has a lot of usefulness when it comes to modern day sports, especially when it helps to, as it tries to help refs get better calls and helping audiences be able to follow in better from a distance and become more involved in live sports. So tech is really important in sports. But where do you guys think that tech will go in the future when it comes to sports in general?
I mean, maybe like on like football and stuff, they like show when they like replay like a certain play in football, they have like those graphics on the screen to pinpoint like certain parts of the play or like highlight certain parts.
Yeah.
Maybe they could, like, if the tech gets a lot better, you can do you could render it so you can look at it from like different angles that the cameras probably couldn't like capture it at. So like maybe like sort of like CGI-ish, but like, not like really poor CGI, I guess, if you want to like really take a look at a play and see how, like it was done.
Yeah, and that might be if the rendering happens fast enough, and that might be able to help with better calls and that sort of stuff, right? Because being able to take views from multiple cameras and piece them together to make a 3D model would probably be effective in determining how plays worked out and how to make a right call, right? So
yeah,
there's that.
I agree. Also, I know like in the future they're looking at like a way you guys know how they have like the pylon cameras, like in football, like at the touchdown lines.
Yeah.
Basically, what they're trying to do with that is they're trying to have like a laser, right? So like you can sort of see like if the football crosses that laser, you'll know like it's a touchdown or not. And it could sort of help refs make like a better call, especially if it's like super, super close to the goal line. Because like, a lot of people, say if it's like fourth and like inches, right? A lot of people just run it in, and sometimes they're like right on the goal line, and you don't really know whether the football crossed it or not.
That's
but like
true.
at the same time, it could be pretty rough, right? Because the goal line's like a ton of huge guys, right? So it's gonna be hard to really like see, whether he had control of the ball and stuff.
Mhm.
So obviously with like the different camera angles and possibly even like drones, I don't know. I think a lot of the calls will be a lot better in the future overall.
I
Yeah.
feel like the I feel like laser technology would probably like we can easily just put a laser pointer on a pylon,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure how a camera would sort of register
I
that
know
if it's
they
like right
already
on top
have
of
a
the
camera, right,
laser.
Sai? Do you know if they
Yeah,
have a camera?
What do you mean, like a pylon camera?
Yeah, they have like a pylon camera that's like
Yeah,
already
yeah,
pretty good, right?
yeah.
yeah,
It's like
but
yeah, it's
you're
a
gonna have to move that pylon camera because if the laser is right next to the
Yeah, that's true.
right on top of the pylon, then you're not gonna be able to see plays that are right
That's a
next to the
great point.
pylon.
Like, what if someone hits the pylon? Like, a ton of people do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Numerous touchdowns happen because of
yeah,
people
they
hitting
just touch the
above the
pylon.
pylon.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
So I'm not sure how that'll go. It'll probably have to be push the camera. The ends will probably be pushing cameras back and pushing the laser back because of that.
Mhm.
So that's going to be an interesting thing to consider. But another piece of tech that people that apparently the NFL or NBA or any sport is looking to integrate is cameras on the players, so you're able to see the action from the player's point of view.
wait, so
I'm
like
not
like
sure.
a GoPro, like so like you put like a GoPro on like a helmet,
That's
Essentially,
actually.
like that's gonna get
Essentially.
blown off.
Hey,
though.
someone, quick hard tackle, helmet flies off, GoPro goes flying as well.
yeah, no, I read it a while ago somewhere, but
That's so funny.
I doubt it's gonna I doubt it's gonna come to the NBA, but it is possible to come into the NFL if camera technology were to get smaller, and you can integrate it better into a football player's uniform and that sort of
I
stuff.
mean, it's possible. They do like
Well,
mic'd up episodes, right? So like they literally have a ton of mics inside of your uniform. So
I mean, but
yeah,
mics are
camera.
easier. Mics are
Yeah,
easier
yeah,
to place and
hide.
that sort of stuff
Yeah,
compared to GoPros and
but like,
that's
cameras and
true.
that sort
what
of
would be
stuff.
the point of
So
putting a camera on the player though?
Maybe on like the football.
Like, not
okay, now
even.
I don't know. One on the football would make no sense because it's going to be spinning half the time,
Yeah, and also
Oh,
like
yeah.
or in someone's arm. So there's no
constantly.
point in having a camera in the football. But that being said, having a camera on a player, I mean, it might help to at least having a camera on every player might help to make calls better because you can see the play from the player's point of view and that sort of stuff. Maybe a player got a better view of the play compared to the refs or something along those lines. But it also might be nice for the audience to see,
Yeah,
the player's point of view or like there. I know the NFL is doing this whole doing replays. They give you a render-ish sort of thing from a quarterback's point of view to see how his decision making that sort of
yeah.
stuff. I
Hmm.
feel like that could be better. It could be just better. Period. If they have tech where, I have a camera on the QB and it's easier to see that way. So
I
there's
feel like
always
I feel like it would only work on the QB though, since they get like the least amount of contact from players.
I think honestly, I think the
Because-
QB, running back, and receivers, and the punt returners and special team people. I think those are the only people that would really have like a valid reason to have
mean,
a camera.
Yeah,
that's true. But
because
even
No
if
one
more,
putting a
Oz-
camera on like an offensive
No,
line.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
really
That could have
That's
an
gone.
actual
That's
purpose.
gone.
No, that could have an actual purpose. So like, say you're on the goal line situation, like it could like pick up the football on like the pylon maybe. Like,
Oh yeah,
from, like, the
that's
edge.
true. Yeah, that's true. Because goal lines are that's probably like one of the most important calls in the game.
yeah, and
Yeah.
usually it tends to be one of the most miscalled
Yeah,
calls in the
literally,
game.
like
so.
all the time. Like there's so many calls that are just supposed to be a touchdown but weren't.
Nikhil Harry last year. Oh, all right, but that's besides the point. But yeah, cameras on players do have potential, but again, camera technology needs to be better and have to find a way to be better integrated into NFL NFL in this case uniforms. I'm not sure what other. It might be able to work in the NHL. I don't really see it happening in the NBA or MLB just because
there's
it's
no
going to be
way.
hard to integrate.
There's no way it can happen in hockey. The amount of
Oh yeah, no,
amount of contact in
there's a
that
lot of
sport,
contact in that sport. True.
There's no way
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen.
I think laser technology can be prevalent in like literally every sport. I mean, most sports, right? Like think about it, soccer.
Yeah.
To see whether the
definitely.
ball went over to the goal, went into the goal. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe even tennis. Not probably not. To see like whether it touched the line or
I mean,
not.
there's
I
no
guess.
need for tennis. Personally, I think tennis calls right now are some at least some most consistent because of
Okay.
photo technology and video. They already have
Yeah, they already
technology
have
to
everything.
to check whether the ball went in or out. And most
Yeah,
calls
and
are
there's not that many
usually
people like in a tennis match. I guess it's like max
yeah in
4 people. So
in tennis matches. I mean, it usually comes down to the player messing up rather than a bad call.
yeah.
Because again, replays are used for almost every questionable call in tennis. If it hits the line, it's probably going to be it's going to be inspected, just because you want to know, did it go in or out, especially with serving. So yeah,
Wait,
I don't
so
really
how does
see.
that work though? Like, say if it, like example, say if not maybe not a serve, but like actually yeah, say if a serve just hit the line, and like would they just continue playing or would they like review
No,
it? Would they pause the game and review?
No, you would continue playing. You never stop the point when the ball is in action. You keep playing unless you call it out,
Okay.
unless the ump calls it out.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah,
It'd be useful in
Even
cricket.
laser technology.
Yeah, like if it like hit the
Oh yeah,
person's
no,
like
I think they already have
Right.
something like that with
yeah, they have something
Actually-
similar.
with the
It like
wickets.
removes yeah, it like removes the player out of it and then like projects where the ball goes to see if it hits the wicket or not. Something like that.
Yeah, there's also something with the wickets itself, like like the two things on top
Oh,
of
yeah.
the wickets. I forget what they're
Does-
called, but apparently a light goes off or something if
Oh,
one of those
yeah.
things fall off or something like that. So I think there's already, I don't think it's laser technology, but some sort of technology helping with cricket to make, to better call those hits on the wickets. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, I mean, is there any other, I guess, revolutionary technology to look forward to in the future?
Revolutionary. Okay. I mean, apparently somewhere the people are saying that the NFL may have drone AI referees for, calling, making calls and that sort of stuff. Apparently it's gonna happen in 2020. I don't see it happening. No, at least not by 2020. We need better AI. At least, yeah, we need better AI in order to actually recreate the whole making a call scenario. Because I feel there are a lot of factors that go into making a call. So
I'm pretty sure they did that in like the AAF or like one of those.
AFL, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, like one of those like backup, like not like
Yeah,
backup, but like
AFL, yeah.
those
Did
like
they?
side leagues. Yeah,
Well-
I think that's where they got the idea from
Hmm.
all
with the
right.
drone. But
But is it just like a drone hovering around recording it, or a drone AI referee thing that's making calls?
oh no, I think it's just like no, it's like they just
Yeah.
use the drone footage.
Yeah,
I
just
think.
recording it.
Yeah,
Making
'cause
calls
they're
is
two
definitely
completely
something in
different
the
things.
future, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
That'd be
having a
sick,
drone-
though, if it makes calls.
I mean, but that's going to take so long. First, it needs to be able to identify the ball. It needs to be able
There's
to.
so many different case scenarios.
Not only that, there's so many different variables that go into it. Again,
that's
we
true.
have the ball, the players, positioning. It can't just be one drone. It has to be numerous drones working on a collective network that all have to be able to track one thing, the ball, and everything around it and how it affects that ball and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of things that go into making a call, and I just don't see AI referee assistants being able to come out in 2020, or I don't even see it coming out for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't want that to come out because like, part of the game, part of like every game is like fouls and getting away with things and like trash talk and all that stuff. If you have this AI referee drone, right, and if it's perfect, completely perfect, which obviously we'll see like probably in like 10 years or so. If that happens, I don't know. I feel like it would ruin the game because now like every literal single call will be called, right? I mean, yeah, on one side it'll be fair, but like part of the game is just like, missing calls, I guess, like that's sometimes what makes the game, I guess, fun in a sense. I mean, remember
I mean-
do you guys remember the Saints, what is it, Saints
Rams?
Rams? Yeah, that call.
Yeah.
I mean, like that was pretty funny. And honestly, if there was an AI drone, that would have never happened.
I mean,
Honestly,
obviously,
if the ref wasn't blind, it would have never.
Okay, yeah, the
happened.
ref. I don't even know what the ref was doing. I don't even know what the ref was doing.
Yeah,
They
but
were
the
on
thing is,
something.
yeah, but that play could have essentially put the Saints in the Super Bowl
Yeah,
instead
that's
of
true.
the
That's
Rams.
true.
And if the Saints are in the Super Bowl instead of the Rams, there's a chance that the Saints could have won the Super Bowl, considering, well, they're
Yeah,
the
Drew Brees
Saints,
is nice.
right? Yeah, so I mean, I honestly would rather have a lot of calls being called. There is the possibility that there are unknowingly there are a lot of calls that are going uncalled, and like every play there's going to be a flag, which is going to be annoying.
Yeah, they'll slow down
But-
the game so much. Like games
Again,
will
but
probably take like 3 hours or like longer now.
Yeah,
Also,
but
like
the thing, oh, go ahead,
people
Zach.
people like Kobe Bryant, they used to like study the refs' positionings, and then
Yeah,
like
and then they,
would
like,
know
ref-
where
they,
to
like,
get
yeah.
fouls. So like
Yeah,
they kind of
exactly.
like those people who just like grind that much, like I don't think they'd be very happy about that.
Yeah, that's true. And there is always the possibility that the AI could be given some sort of leniency protocol where it just lets people get away with some stuff. But again, I'm not sure how natural that would seem.
Yeah, I don't know,
So-
because like the AI would probably constantly keep learning, right, until the point where it's literally perfect.
But yeah, that's AI.
Yeah,
machine learning,
exactly,
that sort of stuff, so-
exactly. So I mean, like I don't know whether that'd be sort of possible in a sense to like make
It's good.
not
It might be-
perfect.
It'll be possible eventually. Definitely not right now.
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
not in
for
the next
sure.
3 or 4 years, but if it does come out, yeah, I feel like we got to see how it plays out first before we actually critique it.
Mhm.
And if there's the possibility that it is too good and everything gets slowed down and players are there for too long and too many calls, and it might change the rules of football by adding more challenges or whatever it may be. So there's a lot to consider with AI refereeing.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like AI referees would make the games less interesting significantly, just because, especially in contact sports, there of course like there's a lot of fouls that are uncalled or like penalties that are uncalled in like contact sports specifically. And if like an AI referee just literally calls every single one of them, not like again, like we already discussed, this is gonna like delay the game a lot. But not only that, the players are gonna have to learn how to play the game like a
it's
lot more cautiously. So you're gonna see a lot less contact, and the audience is there to see the contact in the contact sports. Like
That's
people
true,
watching
yeah.
football are trying to see people getting absolutely trucked. People watching
Yeah, that's
hockey are there to see like the fights. Like an
People
AI
getting checked,
referee would
yeah.
absolutely ruin that aspect of sports. So I mean like in terms of technology, I'd have to disagree that it's actually far off because I think like a prototype could be given out like now, considering of how far AI has advanced till now. Because we've talked about Tesla's AI, we have humanoid AI coming out, we have AI being used in space exploration. So AI has come a really far way up till now, and using it as a referee, it I don't think it's really that complex because although you're tracking a lot of things, it's the same thing for the Tesla AI. You're tracking a lot of things. You're tracking signs, signals, pedestrians,
But Protham, like a lot of the things
things.
like can't be controlled.
I mean,
guess,
that's the same
right?
thing. Like when you're driving a car, there's a lot of
Yeah,
things that you can't control, like other people's driving. So it has that sense of unpredictability where the AI has to overcome, and the AI has to make certain decisions that could be tough for like a normal person. And that's the same thing when you're calling out penalties and stuff like that, because it like there could be two sides of the penalty, whether it is a penalty or whether it isn't. Like there could be a really fine line as to like whether you call it or not. And I feel like the AI like would just call everything, and it would just really ruin the point of the game. So I mean, I just don't think they're really going to invest that much in AI referees as of now, not because of the technology, because we definitely have the technology for it. At least like not perfect, but like pretty much like close to a good or decent AI referee, but like I feel like people won't support AI referees just because A, referees are going to lose their jobs, B, players won't be able to get away with a ton of penalties or fouls, and C, the audience would be significantly less interested, especially in contact sports, just because how cautious players have to be when playing these sports. All right.
All right, yeah. I mean, yeah, Pratham, I completely agree with what you were saying. I mean, like,
Same.
yeah, I had no question about that. Like, it would totally make sports not as fun. But like one thing we should probably consider is the state. Like, there's so many different views we can look at it from. Like, one's the audience, one's the refs themselves, and then one's like the actual players, right? Like, I feel like although even some players might not like it because they can't get away with things, it could undoubtedly sort of help them safety wise, right? Because a lot of people like they sort of commit like useless fouls, and sometimes that could just like hurt them, hurt their body and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So I think safety is an aspect that we should definitely like consider if we were to put them in the game.
I mean, I don't know, cause like the players, especially playing like football, soccer, like hockey, like they know the risks that they're taking playing the sport, and like even with a human ref, there's a low chance that like a human ref would like ignore such fouls that are like, you know, impacting like the safety of the player.
No,
So
but like I feel like a lot of players do like cheap shots like in the game, and then the
All right.
refs just
Here's an
I mean,
idea.
I guess, yeah.
All right, Sai, let's hear it. Sai.
Maybe there should be an assistant to the referee, and that's the drone. So, like, say, like, the N'Keal Harry touchdown, for example, against the Patriots, there could have been the drone, like, scouting it, and then they could have, like, told somebody like that, like, that should have been a touchdown, and then the ref was, like, wrong, and then, like, gave a percentage of, like, what chance of it was a touchdown and what chance of it was the call actually being right.
That
Kind of.
would
That's a
actually.
great idea.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like an assistant drone.
But like,
would
how would
be-
it work for like? I mean, like, I guess it works for touchdowns, but like, I don't know how it would work for like, I guess controversial catches in game because you can't really like challenge every catch, right?
I mean,
Well,
I feel like
You only
I
have
feel
like
like
what,
the-
2
That's,
challenges?
that's the point of having 3 challenges.
Yeah, but like there's so many catches that like you probably should have got like a holding or like a pass interference and stuff.
I feel like
Yeah, no.
Like it's
I-
happened so often in the game, definitely more than 3 times.
I feel like
Well,
with
yeah,
Sai's like
obviously.
idea of like the assistant drone that could like minimize those things because like the ref would like have I guess more eyes on the field if you know what I mean because there's also like a drone watching it from another angle.
Mhm.
So I feel like you could minimize that instead of like having just a full on AI like referee. You could just have like an AI assistant that could like
Yeah. And not only that, maybe assuming an AI, say this AI assistant catches a ton, like on a almost non-consequential play, it registers or captures some minor call. Maybe it could notify the ref and say, hey, there's a small call here. Do you want to call it, etc., or something along those lines.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
if we do have a AI referee, it's probably going to catch almost everything.
Mhm.
So in the end, it'll come down to the ref's jurisdiction as to whether he wants to call it or not.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it would
Albeit
slow
that
the
could
game
cause a bit
down
of
so
controversy.
much, though, right? I mean, yeah,
Huh?
between the ref and the
Audience
AI
and the
system, of course.
players.
Yeah, but like it also slow down the game so much, right? Because like the AI would call every call,
Mhm.
and games would probably last 3 hours, and the refs would probably get like I guess a buzzing noise or whatever notification like every play.
I
mean-
mean the refs could just ignore the notification.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
but
There could
what
be,
if
like,
it's like a
different
legit
levels of
notification
buzzes.
though?
Yeah,
Huh?
what if there are different levels of buzzes? Like
Yeah,
there's,
that's true.
or
Like a
something
light
like
one would probably be like the refs would like not care about it, and then,
Or like a threshold of like what the drone perceives to be like a
exactly.
like a penalty to notify the ref.
yeah,
Maybe they could
I
do in
mean-
the last 2 minutes of the game because that's when like
Oh
everything
yeah, last
matters.
2 minutes, everything's got to be called. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything
But,
has to be
like,
called.
that also slows down the game too. Like that's
Yeah, the
the
last
I
two
mean, but the
minutes
downside.
will give
last
us
2 minutes is
45 minutes.
the last 2 minutes is when everybody's on their seats and everybody's paying attention and everybody's
Exactly.
waiting for
True.
the calls to happen, all that sort of stuff. It's that moment of time where it's that moment where time simultaneously slows down and goes faster, depending on what you're doing and how you're paying attention to the game.
Mhm.
So calling every call within the last 2 minutes may not be such a bad idea, considering it's only the last 2 minutes, and it won't be extended too much, right? So
Mhm.
Yeah. The only problem is it might kill like momentum. So like
Yeah,
say if
that's
a big
true.
yeah, that's true.
Someone has like a 13-0 run, and then they have like, I mean, that's why coaches call timeouts sometimes, just to like end the runs.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll also, in the last 2 minutes, it'll make sure players don't get too excited or too wound up, because you'll have calls like these forcing them to be somewhat cautious, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. So
Yeah.
we should probably move on to the next topic because we've been talking about AI for a while.
Yeah.
So we already talked about a lot of this, but mainly the downsides of having tech in sports. But what do you guys think are the benefits and the downfalls of having, tech becoming more ever present in sports?
I mean,
I mean, the cost is definitely something we should definitely consider about, right? I mean,
mhm.
like
It's
so
going to
much
be really
money to
expensive.
have AI drone assistance in like every NFL game, right? Or
Yeah, but
going
it's,
back to the
yeah,
cameras, like having cameras in every single player's equipment. And too,
it's
like a
going to be
lot of
really
teams have
expensive.
like 70. Wait, I don't know what the exact number is, but like a football team definitely has like a ton of players.
Mhm.
So, and too, not even that. Like some people who like don't even play are supposed to be equipped with the camera. So
Yeah,
the cost is definitely probably the biggest downfall of this.
yeah.
What about privacy? Do you think tech would invade privacy or nah?
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what tech would?
Oh
That's
yeah,
the thing.
I,
Because
I feel like people might just complain it invades privacy, but like all the
it
players are
doesn't.
on like the big screen anyways, so like what privacy is
Yeah.
it really invading?
I mean like
The
but like
only privacy it could invade is if you have the player cams and they're not turned off by the time they go to the locker room or once the game's done or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
only
no but
privacy it would invade.
no but like say for example like you look at like a play call like so like you know how they have it on like their arms like a
Oh
play.
yeah, that's
So if
true,
they
bro. What
look
if
at
their
it
whole playbook gets leaked?
and then
Oh,
like say
that's true.
yeah something happens and then like it gets leaked like that
Oh,
would like
That's
yeah.
end the
so
team.
facts. That's so
That's a
facts.
good point.
Like if Bill Belichick decides to like change Spygate to like camera game.
Camera game, bro.
It would still be Spygate, chief. But
Nah, camera
yeah,
game,
no,
bro.
that's a true point, and that kind of leads in getting hacked. If someone hacks in to these player cams, forces a leak of some kind, it could be massive. So yeah, there is in that scenario, yeah, there would be a ton of privacy being leaked, considering you're essentially giving away game plans. So
But I mean, like they've done a good job. I mean, like yeah, that's totally an option. But like example with like the mic'd up, right? Like in the Super Bowl, basically like every player is mic'd up. But like I mean, it's not like their plays get leaked, I guess, right? Like
Yeah.
that's true.
maybe some call outs. Like I know Peyton Manning had like Omaha, right? Like everyone knew what that was. But
Blue
like
52.
yep, all like that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like that stuff would probably get called because like they're like different names. So Omaha could mean like literally anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess most likely other negatives we already talked earlier, like, slowing down games and stuff like that. And, maybe like not all sports like would like need significant tech advances like tennis, for example, I guess, since tennis already has like pretty good, camera and like video like tech to help call plays or like, whatever in the game. But I guess like, some benefits, some safety. You have increased safety just because, you can maybe call plays that like, might put a player player in danger or something.
And make players more cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could create like more engagement within the sport just because you're putting a bunch of graphics or like, you know, a bunch of like graphics or whatever out there on the plays just so that people can follow along easier when like the commentators are talking about or like dissecting plays or something like that. Or, you know, if, you know, other people who are reviewing plays from a game or, you know, just dissecting it to see like what each player's mindset was and the
Yeah.
decision making, like for quarterbacks, it could just make it a lot more engaging for the audience and just a lot more interesting, like a new element or aspect to, you know, sports.
Yeah, I mean, that's all facts. So, but well, that's it from all of us.
I mean, yeah, I think that's it too.
Yeah, so if you guys have anything to comment, you go to our website, comment on social media, use comments on YouTube, whatever. Let us know whether you guys think that tech is actually going to become prevalent or tech should become more prevalent in sports in the future, and what are the positives, negatives that you guys think exist, and stuff that we might have missed. But in the end, stay safe, wear a mask. Thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned for the next one.